So the first question is about, what is your approach on liability risk for friending someone? It's a Facebook type question. And when you affiliate with a group or a company, how do you go about managing possible negative impact of that, or deciding whether or not you're going to actually participate?
Great question. We have, I'm going to sit up, sorry. We have at the beginning, every time we meet with a client, we have a buyer's orientation where we sit down with them for an hour. Does everybody do that? Yes, okay, good. And prior to that, we have homework, our company's Schoolhouse Realty, and that has all the, what are you looking for, how big is your house, what are your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, whatever. And in there, we also ask them, are you active on social media? If so, what's your Twitter handle, what's your Facebook page, so forth, so on. Do you mind us connecting with you on these online sources and posting from time to time? Please sign here. It's basically a release that we get from them before we even meet with them. So it gives us permission to use Facebook. And mind you, there's all different platforms out there. We're mainly Facebook and Twitter. We're not into Pinterest and all of those others, which are fun. They're fun having a baby. I've had a great time on it. But I don't use it in my career. But it gives me permission up front from them to engage with them throughout the entire process and even after. I'll pass it on to you guys.
Okay. I'm often asked in group discussions when I'm teaching agents about being connected to their clients on social media. Generally, I would say the take in this area, because we're a little uptight, welcome to Washington, D.C., also known as the DMV. We're a little intense, and I would tell you most agents, when it's not a repeat client, don't go out of their way to friend the client until after the transaction has occurred. That just tends to be the trend. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. You might end up bonding real well with them. It probably is going to depend on their level of social media interaction as well. But it might come on a little too strong if it was somebody that wasn't up to date with social media, and all of a sudden you're tweeting them and doing this and that. It might be too much, might be a little too friendly. So I would tell you what I found from teaching and the feedback is if they're not already your friend, and so it's a new client, they don't friend them until after closing, and then of course hopefully they become an active part of your sphere. For me, probably the biggest thing we do with folks though is it's become very popular, and I've heard it's already being copied around town, is where you become known for taking pictures of everybody at settlement, and they raise their hand, like how many times we settle them, and we have the 10 club, and that means I settled them 10 times. That's pretty cool. And to be honest, Victor, I'm going to be killed here. I'm a lawyer, and I actually don't have a photo release, and I know I should have one, so I'll teach to my class that you all should get a photo release. I feel like saying, look, they're going like this. So I'm going to have a tough time of them saying they weren't going to release, and I do tell them. I'm posting it on my Facebook page, and they're kind of good with it, and they often will come seek me out, but absolutely every day the agent will say to me, Joy, you are going to take the photo, and it's sort of their opportunity to then go tag their friend or friend them from there. So I'm not sure if I go too digress, but learn from not what I do, but from what I say on some things, and that is you probably should get some sort of release. We're actually going to build it into our closing documents, believe it or not. I just haven't had a chance, but like our closing acknowledgement letter, that their name and or image may be used in our marketing materials, because it's probably the most exciting thing we've done in years. And this year we plan to make a big collage of it. And in the past I've done a video, and I have posted it on YouTube. So I'm probably way overdue on the photo release. With that,
need to see it. To answer the question from the perspective of a leadership position, and I've had the great fortune of working for one of the largest real estate companies in the world, where you had every lawyer in the world telling people exactly what you can and can't do, to now being out on my own with my business partner Jason, where we're starting a brokerage from scratch and dealing with our own set of parameters. I think the first rule in social media liability and policy should be common sense. It is the cornerstone of any good decision made in any part of your life. Social media is just an extension of communication. It's just an extension of getting to know someone. It's a tool to engage with someone and to create a relationship that you otherwise wouldn't have had. There are plenty of people that I created very important relationships with that started on a social media platform. Now, having said that, there are plenty of times when I sat behind a desk working for a very large corporation where I got a call from an attorney saying, one of your agents just posted this on Facebook, get it down, talk to them, or they're gone. Well, that person made $8 million last year and did 20 transactions, and I'm not going to fire that agent because that attorney didn't get it. I think something that is extremely important, from whether you're an agent or you're a settlement attorney or you're anybody having any involvement in social media, you must have common sense. But you also have to be aware that some people are not going to understand or have the aptitude of the person posting. I have had the unbelievable fortune of having some crazy, brilliant people work with me who were involved in social media platforms from the very early time. Watching what they do and how they help their marketing efforts aren't always necessarily consistent with what someone in an office 250 miles away might think is the right thing to do. So I think that communication is important, but beyond communication from a liability standpoint, education is critical. And I have gone 50 miles or 250 miles to explain to someone why what happened was not wrong and that the rules needed to change. And I'm glad to tell you that in every case, we changed a parameter that was set on a global scale. So obviously now, when it's just Jason and I and our partner associates, it's much easier. But when I was dealing with corporate attorneys and national policy, it was very, very different. But I think education has to be constant.
One comment, this kind of ties into both what David was talking about. Sorry, I'll get it out. But one of the things that Joyce said is not friending your friends until the end of the transaction. And everybody has their likes and dislikes. But one of the things that I've found is that more times than not, I have to educate my clients on what they can and cannot post on Facebook. I have had clients say, oh my gosh, we are so excited, we're negotiating, we pay full price for it. And I am not kidding how many times the other agent has called and said, we know your client's going to pay full price. So it's really important that you have that conversation with your clients on what they're posting, and that they don't have the right to take pictures of somebody's interior and post it on Facebook because they don't own the home yet. And so for me, it's our way, friending the people up front, it's my way of kind of managing that, so I'm not getting those phone calls from the other agents when I'm in the field. And I can have those conversations